Hello everybody and welcome back to the Williams Return to Glory. In this episode we go to Barcelona and Monaco. Looking at our pit crew here, we're just going to look through our hires and remove some fatigue members. Right, so we've gone through and we've done some rotation. Still second. So looking at the mail screen, we have stuff about the last race at Miami. We have Norris getting his first win last weekend. That was cool to see. Interview with Channel 4. Which one of our drivers is better? We'll just say Yuki at the moment. Right, so from the mail screen, we have a dilemma. So it seems like Ricardo is being annoying. That's kind of funny. So we have to choose what to do here, and I think we're just going to hit him with the minus 15 morale and just tell him to shut the hell up. Right, so getting ready for Barcelona, we have the 1.7 that we're going to get because of Yuki. We're going to go 15-10-10, and then the parts are the same as the last time out when we ran, so we are going to move on to Barcelona. Alright, so getting ready for practice, we're going to put Vettel in the car as well as Ricardo. We're going to focus on the hardest compounds available, and we're going to skip through practice. Alright, so following practice, we have Vettel in 12th, Ricardo in 7th, and top of the board is George Russell. So getting ready for qualifying, we're going to go qualifying trim level 2, sweeter spots level 1 on Ricardo. Yuki does not have that benefit of any sort of secondary knowledge token, so he's only got quality level 2. Car setup wise, we're still kind of working on our setups. They're about 94, so this is a pretty poor kind of setup that we've brought to the racetrack. Alright, so Ricardo starts his first lap now. We're going to see what time he comes up with. He gets his purple sector taken down. Purple sector taken down. He's going to cross the line, do a 1:35.6. Right, so Yuki Tsunoda comes around the final corner. Ricardo's trying to pass him. I think they're both going to ruin their laps here. Tsunoda's up his first sector. Tsunoda's up his second sector. Let's see what he does when he crosses the line. He's going to go 13. Alright, so getting ready for the Spanish Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda, we have him on an aggressive strategy here with the soft tires. I saw how much the tire temperatures are raising up in practice, so I was wondering if it's going to be worth it to kind of sending him out early. Have him go neutral to start, kind of warm up those tires, and then kind of put him on to conserve for the rest of the run. Daniel Ricciardo, we're going for the surefire way, potentially. I do believe that the medium tires will be able to quite easily make it halfway, but if Yuki Tsunoda can get those soft tires to work, I believe he's going to be in a good position here. Car setup wise, we had to work on it a little bit more in qualifying. I was a little out of practice with doing qualifying in Motorsport Manager, so sent him out early thinking I could get him to do 3 full laps, but it was not the case, so we are starting 12th and 14th. This is going to be our driver strategy, but we're going to move on to the starting grid. Alright, so your starting grid for the Spanish Grand Prix is George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, Sergio Perez, Liam Lawson, Lewis Hamilton, Teo Pourchaire, Esteban Ocon, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda, Robert Schwartzman, Dennis Hauger, Oscar Piastri, Guan Yu Zhou, Lance Stroll, and Mick Schumacher. Alright, so here are the 5 red lights. It looks like we only have 4 people on the soft compound tires, so this is going to be an interesting watch throughout this race. Tsunoda has an investigation here. Has he got a penalty for it? Is he going to be awarded a penalty? He drops all the way down to the back there. That's not good. To put Ricardo immediately onto neutral here. We're going to keep Tsunoda on to neutral. Got to see if his tires start to warm up. They're kind of just holding steady here. That's Not what I was expecting. Alright, so we're seeing some warmth out of Sonoda's tires here, but really nothing major. I think Ricardo's even kind of losing tire temperature here, so that's interesting. So we're going to have Ricardo actually just push here. We're going to actually have him attack, and let's see what he can do here for a lap or two. We're going to let him attack all the way until the tires get hot, and then we're going to put him on neutral. So his tires are starting to overheat a little bit. Sonoda still holding steady in 16th place. We are outside the points. We need to get ahead of Lawson, Hamilton, and Porsche. Those are the cars that we are on a similar pace with. Perez has got fresher tires, so I think he'd pitted at some points. We have Hamilton, who's just pitted and is ahead of us, so we are now looking well outside the points. We need Porsche to pit and fall far behind us. Porsche is 5 seconds behind us, so that is not good for our strategy here. It is lap 14 of the race. We need to make it to lap 22 with both Sonoda and Ricardo here. So I don't know how I feel about Sonoda being able to make it, but we're going to put him on conserve. Hopefully he can make these tires last to just about lap 22. And potentially we can think about putting them straight back onto some soft tires. So Ricardo looks good to do the one stop. I like his strategy a lot. Sonoda, on the other hand, I am not so confident on. I think we're going to pit him onto the medium tires when we decide to pit him, because we're going to have to pit him pretty soon here. Well, he's actually going to be able to make it, so I wonder if we should just risk it and put him onto the softs again on lap 22. We have just started 21 for him. 22 is this next time by. So we're going to double stack here. Both cars are on lap 22. We're going to pit Ricardo onto some medium tires. We're going to fill him up. How many laps do we have left? We have 22 laps left. We'll give him 27 laps of fuel. We're going to give him a safe pit stop. We're going to go to Sonoda. We're going to pit him onto the soft tire. We're going to fill him up to, oh, we 27. Okay, oh, we added 27 laps, sorry. We're going to put him on 27.45. Let him push. Look good on the parts, and we're going to go safe pit stop here. So we're actually going to make Sonoda make these soft tires last to the end of the race. Alright, we have a mistake with Ricardo. So it's unfortunate to see. We're going to put Sonoda straight out onto neutral. We're going to let Ricardo just push, or we're going to have him attack to gain some time back here. Set some fast laps. Gets the blue flag. Put him on neutral, and that means he's pretty much going to be good for the end of the race. So notice tires, they're starting to uptick a little bit on the temperature, so that's good to see. So we should be able to put him on conserve later on when his tires are looking a little dire. So we're right outside the points. Porsche is going to have to pit. Hamilton is going to have to pit, but Porsche, when he pits, he's going to have just enough of a gap here to where I think he can pit and come out ahead of Ricardo. We have Ricardo and Sonoda right on top of each other here, so that's interesting to see. We're going to keep an eye here on the fuel. We don't have the typical fuel gauge, so we have to make sure that we do not dip under that the amount of fuel that we need left to finish the race. So once the excess fuel goes away, we're just going to put them onto a simple conserve. Or actually, we can just put Sonoda on a conserve now, and he should have some tires left for the end of the race. Ricardo looking good in 11th place. We have Pourchaire that's going to start pitting ahead, but I'm pretty sure that he's going to come out ahead of us, which would be unfortunate, but not much we can do here. We seem very slow this weekend. So Pourchaire is pitting. He's going to come out. Yeah, he's going to have almost 10 seconds on us. So we are outside of the points by a fair margin. I've said we've been falling off a bit here, but this is definitely a race where it is very apparent that we are. So we are going to hope for something to go our way here. Either a safety car of some sorts or a just really anything to happen. So we're going to put Sonoda back on a neutral so his tires don't get cold. We're going to let Ricardo push here, see if he can close in a little bit onto Pourchaire, but he's on fresher tires, so I don't really see a need to do it. We're going to make him do it anyways. Sonoda has got pressure coming from behind from Schwartzman. We got 5 laps remaining. I feel comfortable just pushing him for a lap and then putting him onto neutral just to get his tires out of this cold range. We're going to go back onto neutral here. We're going to keep an eye on Sonoda. Unfortunately, AlphaTauri is going to score points here, and they're going to score some decent points, and we're not going to have a defense for that in this race, so that's going to be unfortunate for our points total. Sonoda's at 35%. We've got 2 laps remaining at the line. We have Ricardo pushing maybe a little too much here. We're going to back him up so he gets his tires into the cool range. Then we're going to put him on conserve. So Sonoda is catching Ricardo. We have Schwartzman on our rear bumper, but we're coming up to the line here. We are going to finish 11th and 12th. Great, so unfortunately, Sonoda had a time penalty. I saw it a little bit at the beginning. I really wish they would show you when you got those, because that would have changed kind of our approach there at the end of the race. Yeah, we missed out on the points. Very unfortunate. Lawson with the AlphaTauri gets 4 points, so he's going to help close the gap between us and them. Your points for this race were Teo Pourchaire, Lewis Hamilton, Liam Lawson, Sergio Perez, Pierre Gasly, Carlos Sainz, Lando Norris. Your podium, Verstappen, Leclerc. Your winner, George Russell. So following Barcelona, Charles Leclerc is going to move up to 3rd, and we have Yuki still at the bottom here, but the only position that has changed has been Leclerc. So looking at your team's championship, we are comfortably still in 5th, or I don't want to say comfortably now, because we got a 6-point gap to AlphaTauri. Had a really good race the last time out with Lawson getting the 7th place finish. Top of the board, Mercedes. They're starting to get closed up on by Ferrari. Ferrari have 2 strong drivers. Looks like Lewis is the weak link in the team this year. We have McLaren right behind with their 2 drivers. So potentially we could see Mercedes getting an easy drivers' champion with their very dominant George Russell, but kind of struggling in the constructor standings. Leaving Barcelona, we're going to get $1 million in the bank. Alright, so looking at the pit crew, we need to do some rotation. I didn't realize we have a 19 on the jack. That might be relating to their stamina, but we're going to remove some people and potentially hire some people. Alright, so we've gone in and we've done some rotation. We are somehow now... Oh, it's because we have some of these 18 on tires. Whoops. We're going to switch them around with the front jack. We're going to switch the front jack with them. Now we are 2nd on the grid. So looking at the mail, we have stuff about the last race, Russell, all the Russell domination, and we have an interview with Sky Sports. Teo Pourchaire's agent has been telling reporters all over town that you're interested in signing him up next season. I think we're going to hit him with an absolutely. So he is open to discussing terms with us. Again. Alright, so your Formula 2 results, you have Felipe Drugovich getting the win. Giovinazzi finishes 2nd with the fastest lap. And then your final step of the podium goes to Pietro Fittipaldi. We're going to scroll through here, show the rest of these results. So round 4 of the championship, there's 104 points on offer, and for us to kind of have the first guy on only 60 shows kind of how competitive this field is. We have 2 people at the bottom. I only think one's in the sport. Who are have not scored points yet. So Very, very tight field. You have the two front runners of Giovinazzi and Tandy out front, but yeah, I mean, you can just throw a blanket over the rest of this field. Looking at the team's championship, you have Van Amersfoort on top, 1 point ahead at High Tech. You got this top three here, these three teams, and then you got pretty much everyone else, like I said, under a blanket. Well, actually, I think down to Carlin. Carlin up to Trident, I think, are close to where, you know, they're in touching distance of one another. But yeah, Campos, ART, and Charus are at the bottom, kind of fighting over a wooden spoon. So Formula 3, we have Stoffel Van Dorn, top step of the podium. Sergei Sorokin, second place. Daniel Apt, final step of the podium. I'm just going to show the rest of these results here. So comparatively, we have a kind of a front runner up front, 3 races in. Stoffel Van Dorn, 53 points, pretty good. Parente is right behind, but he's, you know, got a bit of a gap behind. But yeah, I say they're still close here. I mean, Crawford and Nannini have not scored points, but yeah, this is still a tight championship, and I mean, Formula 3 typically is, with, you know, only 3 races in these or 9 races in these seasons that we get to simulate. Looking at the teams, Carlin is miles ahead. That's surprising to see. Yeah, you got Campos in second place, and then they have a fairly big distance over those behind them. But yeah, it looks like from 9th to 6th, we have a kind of a scrap going on. Alright, so we have our new engine in. It is not going to be at all ready for the next race, but 1589 current, 1629 cap on the engine stuff. So we'll have that done hopefully for the next Grand Prix. Not the next one we do, but the first one of next episode. From the design a part screen, the only thing that we have at the moment that I think needs to be upgraded first needs to be the rear wing. I think the engine might be a little bit lower, but it's the first thing we have that's below average on the grid. So we're gonna make a new rear wing. Alright, so our new rear wing is just going to be the high speed corner average trait. That'll be $140,000, and that might be done, even reliability done, before the first race of next episode. Okay, so getting ready for Monaco, we're going to get 1 million, no bonus or kind of goals we need to hit. Tire selections, 15, 10, 10. Part fitting, nothing has changed, but hopefully we'll have some new parts in for the next race, but we're going to move on to Monaco. Alright, so getting ready for practice, Vettel goes into the car like usual. We see that Ricciardo's kind of regressing a little bit. I mean, he had a little bit more stars a while ago, but yeah, I think he's being a little bit stagnant with his regression. Vettel's kind of staying the same as well. This is going to be what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on both medium tires here and hopefully get some softs done before qualifying. And yeah, we're going to fast forward through practice. Alright, so following practice, we had Vettel 16th, Ricciardo 11th, and top of the board was George Russell. So getting ready for qualifying, we have Ricciardo on the qualifying level 3 and sweeter spots. Tsunoda only has the level 3 for quality trim. On the setups, they're both 98, but we're going to move on to qualifying. So Ricciardo starts his first lap here, coming out behind a little bit of traffic here, but we're going to send them out for 3 total laps this session. Alright, so 8th and 14th, first time around. Let's see what they can do this time. Ricciardo's down his first sector, down his middle sector. He crosses the line, stays 8th, and Tsunoda jumps up to 13th. So riding with Tsunoda this time, we're going to see what Tsunoda can do. He's up his first sector, Ricciardo's down. Tsunoda's up his second sector, Ricciardo's down. Tsunoda's going to cross the line and stay 15th. So getting ready for the race, we have a 52 lap race here at Monaco. We are slow. I'm not sure why, but we are slow. I hope this regression doesn't keep up with our whole team, because I was really looking forward to potentially being able to push up closer to those top 4 teams, but now it looks like the teams behind us are getting closer. But we're going to move on to the starting grid. So your starting grid for Monaco is George Russell, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Robert Schwartzman, Liam Lawson, Pierre Gasly, Lewis Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo, Mick Schumacher, Guan Yu Zhou, Dennis Hauger, Yuki Tsunoda, Teo Pourchaire, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, Lance Stroll, and Oscar Piastri. Alright, so here are your 5 red lights. We are the first one on the medium tires. We're going to push just for a little bit here, hopefully get the temperatures up, and then we're going to drop down onto neutral. Depends on how high the temperatures get going here in these first couple laps. Ricciardo in 10th, Tsunoda in 13th. We're bouncing all over the place here. Hopefully we can start gaining some spots. Top 10 would be preferred because points. We are going to push maybe for a little bit longer than I was expecting. Hopefully get them halfway on the temperature, and then we're going to just drop them down onto neutral, and then we'll bounce between neutral and push. These tires look very hard to manage. Hopefully we can get these to last about halfway into the race, which would be about lap 26. So we're solidly 13th, 14th at the moment. We're going to put both drivers on to neutral now to conserve some of that tire wear. We're going to keep them on overtake on the engine because fuel strategy is non-existent. Looks like Schwartzman, Schumacher are kind of outperforming us here, but there's a lot of people on the soft tires ahead of us who we might be able to jump here on strategy. That being said, though, we're almost 10 seconds behind them, and there's a very short pit lane here. We're already almost down into the cold now with the tires. We're just below cold, so we're going to go back on to push, and we're right around 50% at lap 13, which would be halfway into this stint. So hopefully we can keep these guys, keep the tires under them for at least a little bit here, because we need to get them to that lap 26 mark. Alright, we're up to 10th and 11th on strategy. Pourchaire is right on the back bumper of both of our cars, passes both of them. So he's sitting good on the strategy. Perez is going to have to pit, but Perez looks like he's going to end up ahead of us when he has to pit. And he does. Alright, we're going to go on to neutral. Both cars, so neutral and neutral. We're going to hope that we can get them to lap 23. So we're going to pick Ricciardo right as he hits, or not 23, 26. Oh man, we're way off. So we're going to keep them on neutral. Let Ricciardo just drop off the face of the earth here. We just need him to not lose an entire pit stop just in this little time frame here. All right, he's down to 15%. All right, lap 26 is that lap. All right, we're going to go this lap here. We're going to tell Ricciardo to pit onto a set of medium tires. We're going to fuel him up to about... All right, that's good. Give him 30 laps of fuel. Balanced pit stop. We're going to wait on Tsunoda. Tsunoda's far enough behind to where I feel like we can pit him as well. So we're going to pit him. We give him 30 laps of fuel as well. Balanced. Let him pit in. So Ricciardo's going to come in for his hopefully only pit stop of the race. He's going to come out 11th. He's got Schumacher right behind us who's going to have to pit here. So everyone ahead of us has to pit, so hopefully we can jump some of those guys. We're going to tell him to push and tell Tsunoda to push as well, just to kind of get the temperatures in, and then we can kind of drop them onto neutral and hopefully have that go till the end of the race here. We get a blue flag for Ricciardo. Tsunoda looks like he's going to get some blue flags here in a moment. Got 6th place Gasly coming up on him. And he does get one. So we're just letting them push here to get the temperatures into the tires. Looks like it's more maintaining them than anything. So we're going to push until we start seeing some pit stops, and then we'll drop down to neutral. We got Hamilton pitting. Hamilton comes out ahead of us, so that looks like that's our shot at points gone. Alright, so we're going to go on to one-time speed here. We're going to go on to neutral with both cars. We're going to go 12 times speed. Schwartzman is behind us, but Schwartzman I don't think is catching us that much. The Pourchaire is pitting. Pourchaire comes out ahead of Hamilton. Keep an eye on our fuel here. We're going to be at a danger of potentially running out of fuel. So we need to make sure that the excess fuel warning does not go away. Let Ricciardo's tires stay cold, and hopefully he doesn't start losing a whole bunch of time here. So we got a 10-second gap to Schwartzman for Tsunoda. Looks like it's already falling down pretty severely here, so I think we're going to tell both of these guys, now that we got 40% on the fuel, on the tires, to just push for these last couple laps. Just to hopefully get some tire temperatures into our tires. Yeah, Schwartzman is closing up rapidly on Tsunoda here. So we have 4 laps to go here. Got 3 seconds now back to Schwartzman. We're just going to tell him to push. Got enough fuel. It's like the final lap here. Hopefully that's the same for us. Or are we going to have to go one more? Alright, looks like Tsunoda crosses the line, so that's going to lock Tsunoda in barely into 12th place, and Ricciardo's going to come across the line 11th. Alright, so we finish 12th and 11th. We miss out on the points. Your points for this race were Hamilton, Pourchaire, Lawson, Perez, Gasly, Sainz, Verstappen. Your podium, Norris, Leclerc, and your winner, Russell. So looking at your Drivers' Championship, Tsunoda and Schumacher are going to move up based on their average finish because they've not scored a point yet. Pourchaire, an 11th. He's got 3 points now, so he moves ahead of Vettel. Ricciardo still in 9th, but we have Lawson tied behind us, so that's not going to be good for our points total. Looking up at the top of the grid, Norris is just within 3 races of Russell, but Russell, with his dominating performances here in the beginning of the season, he's looking more and more untouchable for this Drivers' Championship. So looking at the Teams' Championship, looks like Ferrari now in 2nd place. They have just a close battle between them and McLaren. It looks like Red Bull is now the 4th best team. Red Bull maybe is a little bit more competitive than McLaren was last year, but I think solidly the 4th best team on the grid. We are 5th, and AlphaTauri, Lawson's doing a fantastic job, is able to catch up to us, and they're now within 2 points of our team, so that's not good. Alpine's total goes to 5. Alfa Romeo stays at 3. And then Aston and Haas are at the bottom with no points. Alright, so looking at the team report screen, looks like Ricciardo has now regressed to that same star rating that Vettel had, so this is not good. I think we might have to look at a replacement for Ricciardo. So looking at our finances leaving Monaco, we're going to gain $1 million. Alright, so that is the end of today's episode. We did not score a single point this episode, and it has been a while since we have ever done that. Yeah, Ricciardo has regressed now to being almost 3 stars. It's very unfortunate to see. That's not something I was envisioning at the start of the year. I thought we wouldn't have to worry about that, at least until kind of midway point of the season, potentially. Russell, top of the board, 6 wins, absolutely obliterating the field at the moment. Hopefully Norris, Leclerc, or Verstappen can kind of get up there and challenge Russell for the rest of the year. But if you liked today's episode, like, comment, all that dumb YouTube stuff, and I hope you have a good rest of your week.